What's up, Walking Dead fans? This is the Confire Crew, and today we're going to be talking about episode 4, Service. We have got 7 moments that we're going to break down and talk about in more detail. So guys, if you like this video while you're watching this video, then drop a like. It helps out the channel. Let's go ahead and jump into moment number 1. Little pig, let me in. The big bad wolf is here again. I would love to know. There's a lot of great Negan moments in this entire episode. So in the comment section below, I'd love to know what was your favorite Negan line or moment throughout this entire episode. What did you like most out of this? I'm curious to find out. Man, I just love this scene. Look, prior to this, you got people hopping around building radios or trying to go out and scavenge, all for Negan because he's supposed to be coming in a few weeks or so. Negan decides to show up a little bit earlier. He comes in, he's whistling, he's swinging a bat, he's got the silhouette, and you feel the suspense. They've done such a great job with this character, building him up the way they have, that you instantly feel like this pit in your stomach, like, oh my goodness, like I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time because I want to see what he does. You love / hate this character all at once, and it's great. So when he pops up, you're excited because you know something interesting is going to happen. Spencer opens up the gate. Who are you? Man, Negan's like, you've got to be joking. I started cracking up. I was like, Spencer, you dummy? You about to get killed. I thought he was done for. We have Rick shows up, smooth things out. I was like, come on in. Negan takes his time to kill a walker and then hand the bat to Rick. You know, it's got the blood dripping on it. Like, this is where the mind games start once again. Completely dismantling Rick. Here, hold the weapon that's killed number 1 and number 2. He didn't even call them by their names. It's got blood on it. You're going to carry this bat for me the whole time I'm here, bending your town over, and there's nothing you can do about it. Amongst this scene, he looks out, he sees all the guys that's there, and amongst those guys is Daryl. Daryl's there for one reason, and that is just so Negan can flaunt him in front of Rick. And lets Rick know that pretty much. It's like, you ain't to look at him, you ain't to talk to him. I don't want to see no sign language, no note passing, none of that kind of stuff. You leave him alone. And Daryl's there to help clean out the stuff from his from Alexandria and all of his friends. It all begins now. So the big bad wolf is back in Alexandria, and he's here to plunder.
Something I was worried about this season. Something I was worried about that with the lack of Abraham to give us one-liners and give us these funny moments that make you just fall out laughing, that this show wouldn't be funny. Wouldn't have its moments where you just completely forgot that this was a serious show and just bust out laughing.
I've been to 8 county fairs and 1 goat rodeo. I've never seen anything like that.
Well, enter Negan. Now, Negan's in there. They show him an old video of Rick, and when he sees this video and he's like, whoa, look at this man bush, I fell out. I fell out laughing, and it was funny that he said, I wouldn't have messed with that guy. But do you really think that's the truth? I don't believe it. I think Negan doesn't care. Also, in that same moment, you have Father Gabriel walk up, and Negan loses it. He's like, holy crap, as he's sitting there looking at him, dressed up fully garbed, and he's saying hi to him, and it's freaking Negan out. It's hilarious. But also, in this moment, which I think is something that's very important, is that you see Carl literally sitting there with the gun to one of the saviors, like, you're not taking my stuff. You're not taking it, and enters Negan. Now, Negan's trying to tell him, hey, listen, man, I don't want to do anything to you, but you need to listen. And it's funny that in that moment, you would think, if it was anybody else, not just Carl, but anybody else who might have just had that kind of, I'm not listening to you, it would have probably been over. They would have seen Lucille, and that would have been the end of the game. But you get that in that moment. Carl is so eager, and Negan does still have future plans to have more people in his group, and he sees that in Carl. He sees a future savior being created right there. But the fact that Carl is who he is, I mean, he's a product of Rick. The only problem is, at the moment, Rick has been neutered, and Carl, he's just not happy with it.
All right. After that drove with Carl, Negan's like, you know what? You do have a whole lot of guns. I'm going to take all of them. All right. You have this one little funny moment, look, where he's in there with Rick in the rations part. And he's just like, I can't be the only one to point out you got a fat chick watching the food rations, right? She in here eating all the pork and beans and cream corn you got. I cracked up. I thought it was funny. Negan's full of laughs throughout this entire episode. This one was no different. Goes on to say, I don't care if you starve to death, but anyway, let's go get these guns. They quickly realize they're missing two guns, like a 22 and a Glock 9. Negan doesn't need these guns. He knows that this group's not going to do any damage with these two guns particularly, but this is all about a statement. I run this town now. You will bend completely to my will. I need those two guns or Olivia dies. So anyway, the scavenger hunt for guns begins.
Now they're looking everywhere for these guns, and they find these guns in Spencer's house. He's got them stuffed inside a vent, and not only that, he got food and he's got alcohol. I mean, this guy, we realized this just not too long ago. He likes to steal stuff and take things, and I thought he was past that, but Spencer is still only worried about himself. He's only looking out for himself, and now not only that is he's questioning Rick. He's questioning what Rick has done. But what I thought was interesting in that moment when they're searching for stuff, you had Father Gabriel, and he says to Rick, I still have faith in you, Rick. And as creepy as it seemed for him to say that standing there, you also got to remember, it wasn't too long ago that Father Gabriel was a complete douche. And you didn't care for Father Gabriel. And you were kind of like, you know what, this guy, I'm okay with him being gone. But as everyone else is still questioning Rick, in this moment, Father Gabriel does actually still trust Rick. He still believes in Rick. And that's got to give him some confidence, because Father Gabriel at one point was scared to death of doing anything. But this is a huge turnaround for his character, because he's gone from being one of the people that you could care less about to maybe now you're kind of like, yeah, I kind of like Father Gabriel. He's kind of like their, he's like a cheerleader. He really doesn't do anything, but he's standing at the sidelines like, come on, guys, we can do it. But, yeah, I thought that was funny.
Negan can't resist but break it off in Rick one last time. Look, after everything he's done throughout this entire episode and the stuff that he was calling him out on, he then makes Rick thank him. He's like, I need those two magic words. Nobody died today. And Rick's like, thank you. Pretty much makes him grovel in front of his people and Negan's people, in front of everybody, and then goes on to say, more or less, I just kind of whipped it out and gave it to you, and you thanked me for it. And you can just tell, man, it takes everything in Rick's power not to do something right here. There was something in this scene that they panned over and they showed the sign, which was like mercy for the lost, but vengeance for plunders. Like, you can just see that's what's going on in the back of Rick's mind, and that this is going to come to a head sooner or later.
Whoa, huge bombshell. Shane is the baby daddy. What? I know, you probably thought, yeah, we kind of think it might be the case, because Lori sort of had this moment where she tried to tell Rick. Rick's like, I don't want to hear about it. He didn't care. But the fact that he realizes it and is still willing to do what it has to take care of Judith, to think that's admirable. But it's kind of interesting, because if people don't know this, Judith is not alive in the comics. Judith died with Lori, and there is no, she wasn't even named Judith, I don't believe. So this character is kind of interesting, but it's also kind of like, hey, Shane is still there. But Rick doesn't care. Rick wants to take care of his daughter, and that probably is a little bit to do with the fact that he's just so scared of what could happen. He does want to raise her up in a world where he can actually provide for her, and he's scared about what could happen if he tries to go against Negan. Now, another interesting thing, something that I saw originally, and it freaked me out. Okay, when you have Michonne going off and she sees something, she's not sure what it is. She kind of moves over there to try to see what it is, and you see this thing on the ground burning. Now, when I first saw it, I was like, what the crap is that? It kind of looked like a crashed UFO, but it's mattresses. It's burnt mattresses. But when I first saw it, I literally freaked out. Was like, what the crap are they doing to my show? They just went off the rails. What is happening? Did anybody else think that looked weird when they first saw it? But thankfully, it's just mattresses, so everybody can calm down.
Eugene receives a request to make a bullet. Look, this is just another piece in the puzzle that they're going to need to take on Negan. There is only so much this group is going to take. Most of the people in the group is ready to get about it right now. Michonne's out there practicing with a sniper rifle. Carl's already shooting guns, talking smack to Negan and his men like he don't care. And you got Rosita's like, yo, you make me one bullet, basically, I'm going to take this dude out. So the group, they're still hardcore, right? Like, they haven't completely been deterred. You have to understand, Rick is the leader, and he does feel responsible for the lives of the people underneath him, along with his, you know, his daughter and his kids and stuff like that. So that's why he's yielding, because he's scared of the lives of others. But you could tell throughout this whole episode, he's gripping that bat harder, and like there's only so much. Like he's going to get to a breaking point really quickly, and as soon as they see an opportunity, they're going to strike. And Eugene is going to be an instrumental part of that, in the fact that he's going to learn and start manufacturing bullets. Anyway, guys, that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Drop a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you'll see more videos like this. And again, what was your favorite Negan line that he gave throughout this whole episode? And until next time, guys, we're out.